What's up, everybody? I'm Jason. This is the Freebird Garage, and today we are fixing a leak. Of course, you guys saw that title. It is a how-to. Once again, I got a bunch of how-tos lined up, so I get these a lot because I've saved them up. A lot of ones I wanted to do, and of course, when the time arises, I do them, and if I know I can execute them, then we have a how-to. That's how they're created. And of course, well, it's an unfortunate one because in my last video, if you caught that already, it was all about the primary the primary fluid exchange, right? We've washed the fluid out, put the new one on, put a new gasket on. I was talking about chasing the leak, which I thought I nailed it. I thought I figured it out. I was pretty sure it was the gasket. It made no sense of why it was leaking, but of course the gasket being the culprit. Now, the gasket was a bit torn up, so I assumed the old one to the new one should have been just fine, and it was, but after 4 days of riding, I came back and it was just everywhere on my garage floor. Luckily, not when I was driving, or it could have started then. I'm assuming it actually probably did, but anyways, that's what happened, and I was racking my brain. I went online, I was looking over different gaskets, thinking maybe the one I was sold was incorrect. So, did a little further investigating and found out that a very common problem with derby covers is that they actually get warped. I had no idea that actually was a thing. It took me for a surprise. But yes, they get warped and they can be fixed. Of course, you can just buy a new one, but they can be fixed, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. But let's get on the fact of how they get warped, right? Well, I did the torque specs, so you guys see my videos. I don't do them off torque specs, so I'm trying to figure out how did it get warped. Well, when you put the derby cover on, when you're dragging up the cover itself, you actually have tendencies when you're dragging up to bend some of the points of the metal. In this case, it's a 3-point derby cover, so it actually presses and bends the derby cover into it, and if you over tighten it on one side, you're gonna have that problem. So I didn't believe it, thought about it, was told about it, so I went to go grab it. Sure as shit, it's bent. Look at that. See how that lip comes up? Just like that. Come on! So close! I had it so close, but we're gonna fix this today. And I was told by a friend of mine, Evan, about a good mechanic trick we're gonna do to fix this and get rid of all that wobbliness. And it's probably gonna take you for surprise by how we're actually gonna get it done. And some of you probably think this is absolutely asinine, but let's get it done. Okay, before we get started on getting this thing corrected, get a better shot, as you can see on a flat surface, how warped this cover is. You can definitely tell on the edges here where it is high and low in some spots. All right, let's get to fixing this. So here it is, the spot that's gonna take care of it, the cement. We are going to take the derby cover and grind it onto the cement like an entire sanding pad, flatten out the spots, and get it back to looking at least flat. Maybe not new, but at least flat. Let's see if we can save this one and get it done. 2 hours, that's how long it took to sand that derby cover down. I'm gonna show you guys what this came out afterwards. Essentially, from so many high points, it's got just a perfect sanded down ring of grinding non-stop in hot, humid summertime. I am dripping right now. Wow. Whew. All right, so for the real part, what you guys saw, I'm gonna put this on the table now, show what it looks like, and see how the difference of the big gaps to now there should be pretty much no gap. All right, here's the derby cover all cleaned up now, sanded down. Everything has been taken down to the flat point that it needed to be. Just like last time, all of the lines around the circle here. Now it is all no gapped, closed up. except for obviously you're gonna have the high and low spots on here, but shouldn't make a difference as long as it sits flat like that, and we get it to torque down just fine. So looks good. We're happy with it. Let's get on the bike. Adding just a little bit of primary fluid from what was left on the floor. Just get it over that basket silver ring. My last video around my primary fluid change out. Give you more details on how to check for that. So we're just gonna do this real quick. All right, that looks good. Let's get the gasket on. Now this is a 2 James gasket that I'm using. They have their own torquing sequence that they use for this one. So it goes 1, 2, 3, and then the torque specs. So right now we're just gonna obviously get it by hand a little bit in each one. They also have these rubber O-rings around them instead of the metal ones, which should hopefully stop any other fluid that would come out. So it does nice and just snug down. Gently draw it up like it should be. Okay, good there. This is a 2 James torque spec, so if you have to go on OEM or like the paper one that I had, use your factory service manual torque spec, and otherwise to get it correct. I'm going by them, which is starting off on a 25 to 40 inches, and then we're gonna move up to 50 to 70 inch-pounds. 1, 2, 3 is by what they have. 25, 40, 50, 70. All torqued down. Let's get the final test. Get it off the lift, get it sideways, see if it leaks. All right, I'm gonna give it about a half hour and see if it leaks. I'm gonna decide from there. We have a verdict. We are leak-free. Look at that. No oil coming through. The leak prior to this would have been prominent right now. 5 minutes after sitting, it was gushing out, and it is bone dry. Look at that. Beautiful. Live to ride, ride to live. Back again, Harley Davidson. We are back in action, and we preserve the historic relic of the derby cover. I didn't think it was gonna work. I didn't know if I could grind it enough and actually be able to still keep it even. And I'm just glad that it was simple. It's a very simple trick that you can do if you are chasing a leak like this. I'm sure it works on any of the derby covers in general, but I can tell you that it works for my 3-point derby cover, and it is fantastic. Take your nice Harley Davidson part, grind it into the concrete until it's dulled out, put it back on your bike, zip it back on, and you are leak-free. Who would have thought to do that? That about wraps for me on this one, guys. I would greatly appreciate if you could hit the subscribe button, tap that like, press that notification, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. And for those that have already subscribed, thank you. And as always, stay free. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.